Welcome in everybody, I'm Erin of Erin Bun Paints. Welcome to my online step-by-step tutorial here on Twitch. Today I'll be teaching you step-by-step how to recreate this lovely scene here. It's kind of like a cottage dock scene. I was just saying I picture it kind of being in the morning, nice and misty, lots of nice colors, some people canoeing in the background. So just a nice, very light, calm vibe, kind of a welcoming into the fall because we are getting into the fall season. How did that happen? I don't know, but we're almost there. So that's what we're painting today. For those joining on YouTube, hello. Again, you're welcome to check out all my YouTube videos on the YouTube channel. There's about 75 plus at this point, different step-by-step tutorials. Otherwise, you're welcome to check me out on Twitch, where I am right now recording this live, twitch.tv/ErinBunPaints. I stream multiple times a week, not just tutorials, but also just painting and chatting and having fun in games sometimes. So feel free to check me out if you want to hang out with me live. Otherwise, for those here for the tutorial right now, welcome in. In terms of supplies, you're always welcome to to type. It's been a while since I've done this. Supplies in the chat, exclamation supplies. It'll give you all the supplies needed. I already have one on my arm. It is phthalo blue. But yeah, I'm using 5 different colors. One of them's phthalo blue. We also have yellow, red, white, and black as our other 4. In terms of paintbrushes, we have 3. We have a large flat brush, a medium round brush, and a small round brush, and I always say you're more than welcome to use different ones. Those are just the ones I use. Other supplies include a cup of paint water, obviously a paint palette. I have my, of course, volcano plate, which isn't quite a volcano, but it's leveling out, guys. Look, it's reaching the tip top, so it's quite solid already. Paper towel is good, or a towel, and then an apron, of course, would be a great idea. Thank you, Terry, as always, for the apron. What else do I say during these, guys? I guess the way this works, in case you're brand new to this, is I'll actually paint along with you. I think I skipped that whole part in my intro, didn't I? Yeah, I paint along with you, so I'm gonna switch to this screen eventually, and you can see I have a canvas right here. I'll be painting live with you, so you can still see the original painting down here while also concentrating on what I'm doing. And I always encourage and say that you're welcome to change it up, of course. If you're feeling like you want to do different colors, maybe you want to do like soft blues for daytime, or you want to change canoers to a kayaker, put someone on the dock, you're more than welcome to do whatever you want. The whole goal of these free tutorials is to encourage everybody to do some art. Just take some time to do some art, whether it's painting or drawing or digital art, and this is a way to do it, just a little bit of inspiration to lead you step by step through something. Other places to find me for social media include Instagram. Instagram is where you can see all of my other tutorial designs, as well as some personal artwork and bullet journaling and maybe 2 photos of me, and that's it. Instagram.com/ErinBunPaints is where you go for that. Where else am I? Facebook. Facebook is good for looking for upcoming tutorial events, because I'll always post a Facebook event when I'm doing a step-by-step tutorial. So that's facebook.com/ErinBunPaints. Other social medias, I'm on Twitter, but I don't use it. I'm on Pinterest now. Have a lot of different Pinterest boards that I'm trying to keep up to date. And YouTube, I guess. If you're watching on YouTube, you've already found me, but for those on Twitch right now, in case you didn't know, YouTube is a big thing as well, so feel free to check out all of those. Thank you, Grok. All the socials are in the chat right now. And I think that's all. I'm sorry if I missed anything. It's been a while since I've done this, so I'm just going to do our quick little cheers and then we'll get started. Alright, here's our little screen. So again, what will happen is you can actually watch me paint step by step as well. I'm going to keep my painting down here now that I've found it, so that's really great. And we can begin. So again, I always recommend 3 paintbrushes, just of different sizes. I have a nice big one, medium, and small one. I'm going to start with the nice big one as usual. I usually start with the big one for a nice large background. So first thing I'm doing is dipping my brush in my water. And I'm going to start in the top left of the painting. So there's just a nice kind of like yellow up here. And then we're going to do some peaches and oranges down here. So I'm going to mix together yellow with maybe just a tiny bit of white. I personally like mixing a little bit of white in my yellow just to brighten it a little bit. It also helps with the opacity of my color. I find it's a little bit transparent. Opacity, right? Is that right? Yeah, I think so. My yellow is very transparent, so I find adding a little bit of white helps with transparency. It just makes it a little bit brighter as well. Cheers, everybody. Happy toot night. Okay. All right, yeah, I'm nervous too, Sharon. I haven't done a toot in a while, so we're in this together. So I'm just going to be brushing left and right kind of in the top left corner area. You can see in my original, I kind of swept the yellow a little bit over to the right, maybe in one little strip. You can put it wherever you want. Of course, it doesn't need to exactly match mine, because the idea is we're going to blend a bunch of colors kind of around the yellow and then further down, so it might all kind of get a little mixed up anyway. So I'm going to put a larger blotch of yellow, kind of expecting that some of it's going to disappear. As we add the peach around it, it's probably going to close up the yellow space a little bit. So if you think I'm adding a lot, it's probably because I am. I'm adding a little bit more than what you see on the painting. I will do a quick reminder to do some edges. If you're using a canvas like me or anything wrapped around, be sure to kind of pull the paint onto the other side as you touch the edges. So I'm just kind of touching up the left-hand side. If I ever go on the top, obviously go along the top. It's not required. Nothing's required. You don't have to do any of this. Just suggested so that you have a nice completed painting all the way around. That fog looks dope. Thanks so much. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the fog. I'm glad you guys are too. I actually did a private tutorial months and months and months ago. Some of you may know it. And it was a very foggy painting. It was kind of like a very dark painting. I did layers and layers of trees with fog kind of raising up from the base of the trees. So you would see like a bunch of trees, fog, a bunch of trees, fog, and then there was a big spooky cabin in the middle. Big fan of the painting. Wondering if you all would be interested in something like that, like a very foggy painting, because this is just a little bit of fog. If you like it, we can just keep adding it. Yeah, agreed. Thank you. Thanks, Pizza. And Shay. And everyone else complimenting the painting. Thank you. So for the background, everybody, it's going to be going a little bit quick. I try to kind of pace it out so that everyone can catch up, of course, and go at a nice pace. But just because of blending, we want to go relatively fast to make sure we can do wet on wet blending. So that means we're keeping both paint colors wet so that they can move into one another on the canvas. So I'll give another quick minute in case you're still adding the yellow, and then we can go into some peach next. But as usual, if I'm like way off with timing, you guys can let me know. Way too fast, way too slow. Otherwise, I just do my best. If you're done with the yellow, you can of course wash off your brush because we're using the same brush a second time. This blue is just unbelievable. I'll try and get rid of it. Othela's quite pigmented, so it's not gonna go off totally. Ew. Yuck. Now I just have a blue arm. This didn't work at all. It was almost better as a splotch. Now it just looks like I'm super cold. Okay, so I've washed off my brush. There's some yellow on the canvas, and we can start adding some peach. So I'm kind of looking at this color up here. It gets maybe a little bit darker down here, so kind of more up here we're looking at. So peach, I'm going to mix 3 colors to make peach. So first of all, I've washed off my brush. I'm using the big one again. I'm going to mix red and white as my first 2. To make kind of like a pink color. Red and white. You can see I'm keeping it relatively light. Maybe like medium pink, medium to light pink, somewhere in between. And then if you want it more peachy, you can add a little bit of yellow to it. That's what I'm going to do, just little amounts of yellow, and that'll make it a little more peachy toned. So just something a little different than your regular pink. We're going to be doing lots of like orangey pinks underneath. So I wanted to keep it a little different to begin with here. Again, change up if you want though. If you're a pink fan, add some pink. Alright, I like this color, so I'm going to start adding that up here. So once again, just kind of going back and forth, left and right. And you can see what I'm doing first is I'm kind of covering up any gaps. So I'm going kind of in the top right area. I made sure the top of this area is all filled up. I'm not worried about blending quite yet. What I like to do is I like to put the paint on the canvas first and then I'll blend it. Some people kind of blend as they go, and that's fine. Sometimes I just find if I do that, there's too much paint on my brush and the new color kind of overtakes. So I like to instead add the color. I'll bring the peach down a little more here. And then once I have the amount of color that I want, I wipe off my brush on my towel or paper towel, whatever you have, just so it's a little more clean. And then I lightly brush in between. And you can see that allows the two to mix together without me adding too much more paint. So you might get some in-between colors. You can see maybe like an orange is forming. Maybe some lighter peaches, or yeah, mostly like a light orange it looks like. So yeah, just lightly swiping back and forth. And that allows, again, things to blend without adding too much. Hey, Madam Scarlet, thank you for the raid. Hello there. Everybody from Madam Scarlet's stream, welcome in. Right now I'm teaching a step-by-step painting tutorial. I have a big group with me today. Some of them are just watching along, some of them are painting along. So thanks for coming in. I hope you enjoy. This is kind of like it's like a Bob Ross-esque type thing, you know? How he goes through a painting step by step. He does it in half an hour. I take 2 hours, so not quite as quick as him. But I hope you enjoy. If you want to stick around, Madam Scarlet, welcome in. If you have anything you want to show off to the stream, feel free to message a mod, whatever mod you see in the chat. Just give them a little whisper with a link, and we can have that in the chat. Usually I like to pull up artwork on the screen or whatever you were working on, but just because I'm doing a step-by-step tutorial, I won't be doing that right now, but I'd still love to shout you out and show you off. So thanks for popping in. Hello, everybody. Elle, welcome in. Napoleon, we referenced Napoleon Dynamite earlier, so welcome in, Napoleon. Who else is here? Grogru, is that right? Welcome in as well. Impressionist oil? Oh, impressive. So I'm working with acrylics right now. I've tried oils before, and man, they're tough, so kudos to you. I find them very difficult to work with. I stick with my acrylics because I can go over top of stuff quickly if I make a mistake. But, wow, I'm gonna check you out a little later. Thank you. I'm gonna pull you up in a different tab, and then I can check you out a little later and see what you're creating, because that sounds very interesting. Thanks very much for the raid. People following the tutorial, I'm just wanting to let you know, if you want to re-add color, of course you can. I'm just re-adding a little yellow because I thought my yellow kind of drowned out here, right? So if you just stick a little more yellow on your brush, or a little more yellow with white, you can kind of re-add it and keep blending. As long as those colors are wet, you can just keep re-adding paint and kind of brushing back and forth until it's as smooth as you want. Let me go up here. I think I missed some chats. Hey, Elle, thanks very much for the follow. Elle Hef, I assume? Welcome in. Thank you, thank you. Dr. Ted, yeah, we're back. We haven't listened to the copyright-free music in a minute. But we're back. Fog would make for a good spooky painting. It do be Halloween coming up. Maybe I'll make a nice foggy painting for Halloween. That's a great idea, Space Fairy. Thank you. And I think I'm caught up here. So yeah, welcome in everybody. Again, Madam Scarlet, thanks so much for raiding. Would love to check you out another time. Yeah, if you have an Instagram or anything you want to pop in the chat, just whisper a mod. They'd be happy to do that. Or even me, I can keep my Twitch up and make sure I'm watching my whispers. Yeah, there we go. Cool, cool. Yeah, cheers. Thank you, Elle. Alright, another quick minute. I'll just give you a quick minute for those adding the peach, and then we're going to work our way down to some brighter kind of like pinky orange, like very deep red colors as well. Oh, thank you. I guess that was what Madam Scarlet was working on, if anyone wants to click that. Oh, I see. I see. That sky is so soft looking. Thanks so much. Everyone, I encourage you, check that out. It looks beautiful. The blending. I'm a big blending fan, and I know oils are good for that, but I still can't figure it out, so kudos to you. Ah, thank you, Ash. Thank you. Alright, let's move ahead here. Again, I want to be conscious that the paint isn't drying. For those not familiar with acrylic paint, it dries within like a 10 to 15 minute period. If you're lucky, sometimes like 5 to 10 minutes. So I just want to make sure we're moving along to make sure it's all nice and wet to keep blending. So moving down the painting, you can see it just gets maybe a little more kind of like pinker, a little brighter. So I'm actually just going to add some red to my existing peach. If you have some peach left over on your plate, you can just add a little more red to brighten it up. If you need to remix a different pile, go ahead. You can do red with a little white and maybe even a little yellow in there, or just skip the yellow. Anything kind of just brighter and darker than your previous. Kind of in your pinky red tones. So I'm just surrounding, again, everything I want to blend into. and then I will blend away when I have the paint on the canvas. So because I'm trying to blend into the yellow, and the yellow was the first color we added, it might be a little bit dry. I'll try my best to blend it, but if not, I'll teach you how to fix that. It's very easy, you just have to kind of re-add the color a bit, so sometimes you might have to re-add and that's no problem. We just try and avoid it just because it's obviously a little repetitive to go back and re-add, but sometimes it has to happen with acrylics. And you can see I'm probably about a third of the way down, just roughly. If you're further down or further up, that's okay. Just kind of make sure you have roughly the same amount as me, because we don't have, I guess we have most of the lake left, so we're kind of completing the sky area right now. You're welcome, Madam Scarlet. Thank you for the love. Thank you. I'm going to scroll up because I think I missed some stuff here. Everyone, I'm just blending, so I've wiped off my brush again, and now I'm wiping back and forth in between any of the colors that I want to blend. So in between this new kind of pinky peach and the old peach, in between kind of this yellow orange, and you can see it's not really blending. Emmy, thank you for the follow and welcome in. Just doing a step-by-step painting tutorial right now. Hope you're enjoying. So if you have a problem like me where things aren't blending, see how it looks very dry? The paint's just kind of going over top of the yellow, it's not blending. That just means something's dry. So yeah, the yellow paint is dry, that's what we started with. So it's been probably 15 minutes and it's probably very dry. So if that happens, you just re-add it. So I've added some yellow to my brush. I'm gonna re-add it around the edges where I want to blend. You might need to wipe off because your brush might pick up some pink, so I just wiped it off and grabbing more yellow. And then again, I'm just washing off or wiping off my brush so there's no extra paint. And that way I can softly move it back and forth without adding too much paint. Again, I find that's key. If you keep adding paint and blending at the same time, I find sometimes it gets a little messy. Colors keep overtaking, so it's just about adding little amounts at a time and then blending away. There you go. That's a lot cleaner now. And again, you don't need to replicate exactly what I'm doing. That's the point. It's always going to be a little different. Maybe it's a little streakier, different tones. But yeah, basically the same. Oh man, see, I went a little too high, so I'm just going to wash off. Grab a little more yellow. Go on top. Again, that's the great thing about acrylics, in my opinion. They dry very quickly, so you can just keep going on top. Add some more. Paint your microphone. You know, the usual. Following Bob Ross tutorials is very helpful in learning oil. Yes, I've actually followed Bob Ross tutorials with acrylic, so maybe that's where I went wrong. True story. It's very hard to follow Bob Ross with acrylic because he does a lot of like sky stuff where he does a huge area. So if you're working with acrylics, it's literally like a race. You're just like, you need two hands almost. Allie, welcome in. Sorry I've been delayed with the chat there, but welcome in, Allie. It's good to see you. I hope you understand the cornhole lore now. I sent a little link in the general chat so you can check it out. Yes, I agree. Yeah, I see you, Madam Scarlet. Acrylic dries too fast for me. I feel like if you start with oil or start with acrylic, you're kind of stuck because you start to learn either I like working with things slowly or I like working quickly and just layering on top. I like the layering. Oh, 8 years for you. Wow. Oh, thank you. And Groka posted Instagram for Madam Scarlet too, in case anyone wants to follow on Insta. Thank you very much. Lots of painting there. Lots of painting if you want to check it. Cornhole. Yeah, Allie, there's nothing else to it, I swear to you. That's truly all that happened. I just wore a shirt that said cornhole and thus everyone says cornhole now. That is all. You didn't miss anything. You missed the shirt. I'll probably wear it again one day and then we can all shout cornhole again. There's now a cornhole command and it just responds with cornhole. That's all. My partner got really good at making pizza dough. Hasn't done it in a while. I don't think I've ever made pizza dough from scratch. I tried, did I try like a gluten-free one or something? Or a riced cauliflower one? No, it was not a gluten-free, it was a keto one when I was doing the whole keto thing. It was a very basic pizza dough and it was crap, it didn't work. It was like cream cheese, coconut flour, it was trash. I wouldn't recommend. Nope. That's all it takes, I guess so, yep, just takes a t-shirt with a big word on it, that's all. Cornhole is fun. It is honestly fun, so Yep. So Allie, you're in the know. You truly didn't miss a thing. That's all that happened. You could watch the first like 10 to 20 minutes of that VOD and you're in on the joke. That's all it is. Yeah, Barry Bag Boy. And that's why everyone's named Cornhole in Discord currently. So feel free if you'd like to add it to your name or put some sort of cornhole rendition, go right ahead. It's the current joke floating around. Cornhole, that's it. Means nothing more other than the game. Okay, so let's move on down here. So we're just going to do kind of like a nice reddish orange next, and then maybe more of like a fiery red or like a dark pink, whatever you want to see this as. I'm sure everyone sees this a little differently, but yeah, bright red, bright pink, orange, colors like that. Or whatever colors you want. Again, don't do this if you don't want. Do something else. But I'm going to mix a nice orange, so I'm mixing yellow and red. And guess what? We don't really need to blend it this time, because if you have about 2/3 of the canvas left, you're just looking at the water anyway, and there's going to be this horizon line in between. So you can see there's no need to trouble yourself with blending if you don't want to. If you want to practice, then go for it. But we are going to put some trees right here anyway and some mist, and that'll cover up any like non-blended areas. So personally, I'm just going to slap this on and not worry about blending it, because that'll all be covered up soon enough. So I've got a nice orange. I'm just kind of slapping that on here. Lots of paint going left and right. Liz, hey, thank you for following. Welcome in. In case you're just joining in, I'm doing a step-by-step acrylic painting tutorial right now. You can see the design below me. An original design I created I think more than a month ago. It's been a long time since I originally created this. But either way, yeah, we got some people painting along. Some people are just here to chat and have fun on a Friday, so welcome in. Glad you're here. So yeah, left and right. Again, you can see I'm just kind of streaking it on. I'm not trying to do like a whole layer or anything, just trying to kind of separate some areas, maybe bring it down on the left here. Maybe bring it over again, kind of like the yellow did. Anything you feel. That's probably fine. Yeah, Hexahar aka Cornhole, that works. Cornhole aka Allie, that works too. Yeah, maybe your partner, Shay, has like one solid like recommendation, or like, I wish I would have known blank. Perhaps that would be a good little tip. The one mistake I made was blank. I should have added blank. Yeah, and just because that was a relatively easy step, I'll just go right into the next color here, but take your time if you're still adding orange or whatever color you're adding. I'm just going to add our next color here. It's going to be kind of like a really hot pink. It could be pure red if you want. I believe I added just a little bit of white to mine, so I'm calling it more of a hot pink. Yeah, looking at my original, that's what it looks like there. Sometimes on the screen it's hard to tell. So yeah, lots of red. I'm just doing a tiny bit of white in there so that I can call it pink. And same idea, I'm just going to slop that on all around the orange, maybe bring it down a little lower, and then I'll blend it in once all the paint is on. So at this point I'm going about 3/4 of the way down the canvas. I'm leaving the last quarter for a nice purple. So it kind of gets like deeper and darker as it gets closer to us. Honestly, it doesn't really make sense, but I don't care. I thought it looked pretty, so that's what I'm doing in my painting. Sometimes we break rules, sometimes things don't make a whole lot of sense in the painting, but if you like it, then who cares? Alright, lots of hot pink on here. Back and forth. Again, don't forget the edges if you're doing those. I need to constantly remind myself or else I forget, so I'll try and constantly remind you. There we go. So all of that paint is on there, and now I'm just going to swipe back and forth and kind of blend it in. So just swiping in between the two colors. There's actually not a lot of variation between my colors. You can maybe hardly see it, but you see it a little bit here. A little bit of orange, a little bit of pink. Nice water anyway. Nice bright body of water. Move that up here, see how it's that's looking. Oh yeah. If you're seeing what I'm seeing, I barely see a difference, so I might lighten up something just so you can see a little more of a difference. Yeah, I guess that's a good point. If you ever want to change something on your canvas, as long as the paint is wet, you can of course just add on top. So if I've decided I want maybe a little bit of a lighter orange, just because these colors are very similar, just stick it right on top. I'm just going to add a little bit more yellow into my orange. Make it a little lighter and brighter. That didn't really work. Let's make it even lighter. And then yeah, you can just slop it right on top. It'll kind of mix into the paint below it as long as it's still wet, and that's kind of the goal. I like it when the paint beneath it is wet, because then it just blends in nicely. It's as if it was the original color. Maybe you're seeing a little bit of a difference, maybe not, but I am, so that's okay. And again, just reblend. So I'm just kind of swiping back and forth in between the two colors. And that way everything's nice and soft and just moving into one another. Allie, thanks for resubscribing! See, it's slightly... Thanks, Pizza. Yeah, I think it's slighter than I even think, based on my screen, what I'm seeing. Allie, thank you so much! My bun was missing. It's back, don't worry. You've got the 2 paintbrushes because you're 13 months. I guess you earned that at 12 months, but thank you so, so much! I gotta update. Maybe we have a new sub badge available. Does anyone know that when the next sub badge is after 12 months? Because I think we're at 14 or 15 months now. And I don't know when I can add a new sub badge. I know I uploaded for up to a year. Like, is it 12 months? Probably like at 18 months maybe there's a new sub badge, because that's another half year. I don't know the amounts of time they do. Every 3 months, every 6 months, after a year, I think they get larger and larger. Maybe it's another year. I don't know. I have not looked. So again, I'm just playing around, so if you're still blending away or adding some color, keep going, or if you're liking what you have, I would just pause a little bit, enjoy it for a minute, and then we'll add some purple. I'm just trying to lighten up this area one more time. Let's see how that looks. I just want more variation here. That's better. It looks a little streakier. There we go. That's better. Again, do what you like. If you like the darker colors, the brighter colors, keep that. I'm just feeling like a little more streaky variation is good. There we go. That's a little better. 1.5 says Grok. Okay. Yeah, it's probably every half year or year after this, isn't it? I know at the start they're like 1 month, 2 month, 3 month, 6 month, yeah. They give you a lot of slots at the beginning. Okay, 1 quick minute if you're still blending those 2 colors or any other colors, and then we're going to go down. We're going to do a nice purple on the bottom. Let's compare here. See, it's a lot lighter here. So if you like my original, you could go even lighter than I did. I tried to blend that in, but I think the darkness is kind of overtaking a little bit, but I did my best. Even the yellow too, I could have done more yellow. Anyway, that's the way it goes with painting. It's always going to be a little bit different, so again, don't worry if it's a little different than mine. Clearly mine is turning out even a little different than my own, so there you go. Half years after one, got it, okay. So I'm like a couple months away. I've got time, I've got time. I just want to make sure there's a badge waiting for those who get to, it'll be 18 months, right? 6, yeah, 6 into 12, 18. Okay. Okie dokie. So we're going to go down a little bit more. We're going to do a nice purple on the bottom. Again, if you want to change that up, feel free, because I realize it doesn't really make sense that it would be darker down here. Maybe it does, I guess. Maybe the sky is darker up here, we just don't see it. Either way. I just like purple and wanted to add purple, so that was really my reasoning there. So to make a nice bright purple, I'm going to mix together 3 colors again. I'm going to start with red and blue, because that makes a nice deep dark purple. For my purples, I really like to use more red than blue. I find it makes it a little bit brighter, more of like a royal purple. Depending on how much red or blue you add, you'll get very different types of purple, so that's what I'm doing, is more red and just a little blue. Phthalo blue as well, that's a key as well to my purple. And then I'm adding white, and you can see the white is really what's going to brighten it up. You can see it doesn't look very dark anymore, it's more like a medium tone purple. Somewhere in between. So again, I still want it dark, just not the darkest purple in the world. I'm gonna add more red, actually. Ugh. Oh, the hype's always appreciated, Shay, whether it's later on time, it's all good. Becca's here, welcome in, Becca! Welcome in, we're doing a toot tonight. It's a toot night on a Friday. How's your Friday going? I think that's a little better. So again, you can see it looks like a nice dark purple compared to our other colors, but still not the darkest purple, so somewhere in between. Whatever purple you like. Same strat as usual. I'm sticking the purple on, and then I will blend in after. Especially because it's a darker color, I like to make sure I'm just adding the color first, and then I'll remove the color from my brush. Otherwise, I find that the dark color will overtake the lighter color if you keep blending with a lot of the color on your brush. It's a little safer to wipe it off first. Pretty sunset. Thank you very much. Yeah, sunrise or sunset. I think it does throw off sunset vibes, but the mist I thought was more of a sunrise vibe, so it's a little bit of both. Yeah. What about early hype? Hype squawk. Early hype is good. If you predicted somebody's resub, that would be actually very impressive. You just pre-hype everybody. Next sub, hype! Art Chappie's here! Hey Art Chappie, welcome in! I know last time we chatted you said you're just getting back into art after a break, so I hope you've been enjoying. Alright, so again, I'm bringing the purple right up to our previous color, that nice hot pink, and then we're going to blend. And if you have trouble blending, you might just want to add a little extra of the previous color, so that was the hot pink onto your brush. The Rising Sunset, yes, something like that. That might be a good name. I didn't say this before, because I forgot, because I was a mess during the intro. If you have title suggestions for this painting, stick them in the chat, because I never really title my paintings until I upload them to YouTube, and then I title them, and I always look through the chat to kind of grab some ideas, or I just make up my own, but I do like to hear what you guys think. There's always some catchy titles that are suggested, so feel free. Rising Sunset is a good one. Or Setting Sunrise, something like that. Or, oh, sick! Art Chappie. I was just gonna say I like the idea of painting scenes from movies, but I guess that's a book too, so don't murder me if you're kind of coming up with your own rendition from the book. So again, if anything wasn't blending, maybe just re-add some of the previous colors. That was like the hot pink. That's what I'm doing on my brush, and it goes a lot smoother. Nice fresh color to add in. And you can see I'm also kind of moving my brush a little up and down, like I am going left and right, but I'm going in between. I'll go a little above it, a little below it. That way everything's nice and even. It's not just a big strip in the middle. It kind of slowly blends if you start to move it a little higher up and a little lower down. That's looking pretty good. Nice bright area there. Sailing on a rising sunset. Oh, musical. I was wrong with 2 media types. Very good. The musical cover. Very cool. I'll watch for your post if you're posting that in the Discord, Art Chappie. That's funny. Look at me, I know all the types. No, missed the musical. Alright, I'll give everybody an extra couple minutes now just because that was the whole background done, so if you need to go back and re-add color, you can do that, or keep blending if you're having fun just blending that area together. Feel free to keep going. Check your edges. If you've missed some edges like I have, you can take your time to touch those up maybe in the next minute or two. Yeah, I'll look for it, Art Chappie. Did you say you're going to be working on the store? I did, yes, Shay. Yeah, heads up, this is my last stream until the week after next. I don't really know when, but yes, I made the conscious decision after talking about my feelings last stream, or 2 streams ago? Last stream? We had a feeling stream where I talked a lot about my feelings and stresses earlier this week, and I was talking about a lot of things kind of pulling me in different directions, And I kind of discovered that I think streaming is kind of, it's distracting me from really finalizing and like putting out this art store. So I kind of decided that next week I don't want to think about streaming or what I'm going to do during stream or spending 5 hours on camera. I'm just going to say no streaming next week, so I'm sorry. I know that's a little bit of a bummer, but I'm hoping it'll be worth it so that I can maybe give more solid updates on like a date for the store if I get enough done. Elena, Grace, welcome in. Thank you for the follow. Yeah, I'm confident that if I'm able to pull myself together next week and really slam out some stuff, complete some things on my to-do list for the store, maybe I can give a date by next week or the week after. I don't want to make promises as usual because I tend to do that and then procrastinate a bit. But yeah, either way, I'm sure I'll get some stuff done. I can knock off some things off my list, and then eventually we can get a good solid update out of it. So yeah, and honestly next week I was saying that I have some personal plans at the end of the week, so it would have been a shorter streaming week anyway, so I think it's just best that I don't stream anyway and I just can, you know, wake up and art store, you know, not worry about anything else. Thanks, Shay, yeah. And yeah, I hope that I would be back online the week after next, but honestly, if I find that I get a lot done and maybe I'm like that close to getting a little bit more done and getting to a place where I'm like pretty much complete, I might just keep going, you know what I mean? So I'll keep you guys updated week after week. It would be my preference that I'm not offline for like 2 or 3 weeks at a time, but again, we'll just see, because art store is my priority right now. I know it's been a while since I've been working on it, and I know it's being waited on, so yeah, and it would just be great for me to be able to complete that. It will be a big weight lifted off of my brain, off of my shoulders, off of my entire body, and it'll be an exciting thing if we can get that hammered out. So long story short, yes. Yes, I'm gonna work on the store next week. What are you drinking cocktails? It may seem like I'm drinking something because I'm all over the place today, but I swear to you it's just water as usual. Not hard liquor, just some good old water today, as always. Allie, I'm so happy for you, Erin. I think it's great you'll be taking time away to get things. Thank you, yeah. And like, yeah, listen, like, I recognize, like, this summer I've had breaks. Those have been good for me. Like, I did need time off, away, offline. I'm not calling this a break because I very much intend to be offline streaming, but like, at my computer, I'm trying to make it so that like each day I'm really like kind of 9 to 5, more regular workday, just like really focused in. And I think not streaming will be good because I'm not thinking about like, oh, I have to stream at 4 o'clock, I gotta start getting ready at 3, but that means I need to be back at the place by 2, you know, just it stacks up. So yeah, just not having to think about it, I think it will be a good thing. Thanks, Charlene. I worked on that feathered serpent more last night. I'm painting Arian Disco. Oh, very good, very good. Yeah, I think I saw your like your first post about that, Becca. I'll wait for the final one too. Oh, we drank in some water. We drank in some water. I gotta hydrate more, man. I'm feeling really tired today. Listen, I know how hard it can be when you feel. Yeah, it's like, I talked a little more about this on my feeling stream, but yeah, streaming, it makes me feel accomplished, right? It makes me feel like I'm really showing up for something and doing something, so I always hesitate to like go offline and not stream because it truly feels like I'm taking a break almost, but truly it's not sometimes. If you have things that you're doing while you're not streaming, it's truly not a break, it's just less commitment to worry about. Yeah, and streaming is a weird commitment because it's like, it's not just work, you're like, you're on. You're really on. You're getting yourself ready, you're like setting up things, you're figuring out what to do during the stream, and then it's like you're talking the whole, it's very, yeah, very tiring. So anyway, I can do it. It's just be good to focus on the store only. Thank you, Shay. Might need a second glass of wine. I'm running low. Go get it. I'm gonna give maybe 1 more minute in case anyone's blending, and I'll answer a couple more questions, and then we're gonna get to the trees next, actually. We'll always be here. Thank you, Charlene. Yeah, and I appreciate everyone continuing to say that. It's not like I'm worried you'll all disappear, but I'm just conscious that, yeah, I want to be online. I know streaming is, there we are. Streaming is what I do, and yeah, I have commitments and I want to meet them, you know? So consistency's nice, a schedule is nice, but I think this is what I need right now. This might happen occasionally, by the way, or my screen goes blank. I just need to change a battery, so give me 5 seconds and we'll be right back up. My one camera has a one of those adapters that plugs in so it never dies. This one dies every hour. Hooray! Just a part of the stream. Yes. And the cat. Perfect, perfect. Okay, those two are charging, that's fine. Okay, if we're ready, I think we'll move on to kind of like the tree element in the background now. Whatever you want them to be. I was thinking maybe they were kind of like tree tops in the background. They are kind of covered by mist, so they can be interpreted as whatever you like. But I used kind of like a deep red. I'm just kind of looking at my original painting there. It's a very deep, dark red. It almost looks brown, but the way I made this color was by mixing red with a little bit of black, so it's almost like a rusty red color, very deep and dark, again, maybe even brown toned, but yeah, red and black is what we're doing for that color. I'm gonna switch brushes as well. I'm gonna use this medium round brush. It's a little more pointed, it's a little smaller, so a little more control, but again, use whatever brush you like. So, going to my plate, I'm gonna mix a big pile of red and a little bit of black. I would just add a little bit at a time. You'll see very quickly it changes. So just to prevent it from turning fully black, I'm just adding little bits at a time, excuse me, into a large pile of red. And you can see it quickly turns to this kind of rusty, almost brown, maybe even purple toned color. I don't know what to call it. It's kind of a mix of a lot of different things. I'm telling you, Sharon, yeah, you ask the chat anything about like, should I do this? Should I get this? They're like, yes, 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 yes. So if you know the answer is yes and you just want a little push, a little motivation, all you gotta do is ask everybody here and they'll say, absolutely. Get the cat, get the glass of wine. Yes, please. Alright, so I have this loaded up on my brush. If you want, you can maybe just mark out the horizon line if that helps you. So just doing a quick little line, kind of where you're going to start all your trees. You don't have to, but it kind of helps me to kind of visualize that. So I'm just going right in between my two colors here that I didn't blend to really make sure that I cover those up, because I don't want to see those. And I'm really just going to use the tip of my brush and kind of flick upwards. You can kind of go up and down if you want, but I really like just flicking from down to up. That way you get some nice, really thin tips on the ends there. So kind of using a lot of pressure at the start, and as you flick upwards, you're removing pressure because your bristles rather are moving away from the canvas because they're starting nice and tight, and then they go up, 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 and kind of flick off like that. So moving the handle down, and the bristles flick up. If you like my trees, what I chose to do is I kept the first like quarter of them very low, as if maybe it's like a separate section, maybe the water kind of curls around, and then I put them nice and high about a quarter of the way in. So you can see I'm starting maybe a quarter of the way in here. I'm going to do nice tall ones, and then I'll quickly switch to short ones after. I don't know why I'm doing tall first, that's just the way it is. So yeah, continuing to load up my brush, and lots of flicking. So I like to concentrate on the shape first, and then if I feel like there's any holes or I need to like add more paint or anything, I'll do that later. I like to concentrate more on just the shapes first. So concentrating on my flicking and all the nice tree tops, and then I'll figure out, you know, evening things out or adding more paint like this maybe a little bit later. Vonda's here. Hello, Vonda. Oh, red and black. Sorry. Thank you, Crow. Sharon, it was red and black. Lots of red, a little bit of black. Yeah, Crow is correct. And again, Vonda, welcome in. Thanks, Crow, for answering. Yeah, sometimes the chat is quicker than me, so if anyone has questions, don't hesitate to write them in the chat. Even if I'm in the middle of instructing, again, you might get an answer before I even look at the chat, so there you go. And again, you can see I'm also kind of varying the heights as well, so just so everything's not all the exact same, I'm kind of going a little higher, a little lower, maybe I'll go very high, very low. Lots of variety. Vonda, what are you up to tonight? Just hanging out a little bit? See, even if you want to just concentrate on the tops for now, you could even leave this part kind of blank and then later on fill it all in, because the bottoms don't really matter. You can see it's all just covered up anyway, and then we'll cover that in mist as well, so if anything, I would just concentrate on the little tip tops. We'll figure the rest out later. This is the medium round brush, my favorite brush. Detail brush is this guy. You could use this one if you want, Pizza. I feel like another strategy to this could be just like slopping on paint like this and then using a tiny brush to just kind of flick upwards. So if you like that method, feel free. I feel like this one just kind of does both those steps in one because it holds a lot of paint, but it has a tipped end. So you're kind of adding lots of paint while also still getting the nice, nice pointy tip tops there. And yeah, that brings up a good point. I always say just use whatever brush you're comfy with. A flat brush might do well for you for this one, like kind of twisting it and then just using the flat edge and flicking as well. So if you have a different idea on how to do it, try it out. There's really no wrong way to do it as long as you like the result. Maybe you'll find a different way than I've even mentioned, so yeah, give it a try. So you can see now that I've done all the hard work of flicking, I'm just kind of piling on the paint on the bottom here, kind of brushing upwards so it all kind of blends in together. But I really like the nice deep tone, so I'm just trying to put on a fair amount of paint here. Not blob it on or anything, but I am trying to reapply paint to my brush every few strokes so I get nice coverage. Red is another color that tends to be a little transparent, at least my red paint is transparent, so it needs a little more love, it needs a little more attention to get a nice deep dark color here. Even after mixing with black, I find it's a little transparent. That's looking better. And yeah, if you see like, oops, I just kind of scraped with my brush there. There we go. If you see little areas that are open or even like little brush strokes, I personally like that because through trees, right, you might see some gaps here and there, maybe some light is kind of shining through if there's a little bit of a sparse area, so no need to make it like fully covered. If there are little pockets or anything like that, kind of looks nice in my opinion. No worries, Pizza. Oh, no worries, go call your Grandpa Shay. Alright, so yeah, for whatever reason I chose to start with the tall ones, and now I'm just going to do some short little guys over here. So again, my vision was that maybe there's like a further back, you know, area, and maybe the lake kind of goes around. So I tried to visualize that by doing those two different layers. Small little guys. And another bonus to this mist is the bottom does not have to be perfectly straight. You can see mine is a little bit blotchy, a little bit kind of up and down wavy. Yeah, it kind of tilts up. The mist is going to cover that anyway, so for the meantime I would just make sure there's no big blobs hanging around because we do want this to be nice and dry before we do the mist. We need it to be very dry actually because we'll be using lots of pressure on the brush, and if there's any wetness it might kind of pull up that dark color. So I'm just making sure, again, everything's nice and even. You can even sweep across the bottom like this if you want, really kind of put lots of pressure, pushing the paint into the canvas so it's not resting on top. Brush up and down if you need to. Yeah, just removing any big ridges of paint, trying to make it dry a little quicker. Yeah, everyone's saying hi to Shay's grandpa. Getting a phone call. So I'm just going to give everyone a minute or two or 3 or 4, whatever we think, and then we're just going to do something similar along the bottom because of course if we have trees we want some reflections as well. So it's going to be a similar idea, just maybe a little bit different. You can see how it looks a little different in the reflection. It looks a little more transparent, a little more like watery. So I'll teach you how to do that in a couple mins. So the mist will probably be actually one of our last steps. I know it looks like we're kind of gonna get there maybe next or the step after next. But again, we do want this area to dry. So if you're worried about this drying, we're gonna actually leave this for a while. We can do the dock a little bit, even this nice canoeing couple here, and then we can do the mist later. You can see there's nothing else on top of the mist, so we could leave it for the very last step if we need to. So don't worry. Again, all you can do right now is just make sure there's no blobs of paint sitting around. That'll help everything dry a little quicker. Or if you have a hairdryer, that works too, but my goal is always to just complete these without a hairdryer. As beneficial and as useful as that would be. Can't expect everyone to have a hairdryer by their painting station, I guess. And we will be using the same brush again. You don't really need to wash it off because we're using pretty much the same color, but if you want to just refresh it, you could wash it off. Sometimes I like washing it off just for the purpose of like reshaping the brush, even if it's not to get all the kind of color and paint out. Sometimes it's good just to kind of get the tip back, and again, if there's lots of paint, it's going to be all kind of frayed like this and really thick, so. I'm impatient, so I usually, yeah, if you've got it, if you've got it, use it. I have one, but it's just stuck in my bathroom usually, so if I invest in a second one, it will be here. The other thing is outlets. I don't have a lot of outlets available for a hairdryer, and I'm worried if I plug it into the large power bar I have here, maybe it might blow up, so I'm gonna be cautious of that if I ever bring one in here. I don't want to overwork my power bars or my outlets here. There's a ton plugged in already. That would be a shame. I whip out the hairdryer and just stream ends, everything just shuts down. That wouldn't be good. Alright, let's start the next step here. So next step again is doing the nice reflection underneath. And as I pointed out, it's pretty much, it is the same color. The only difference is you can see it looks a little more transparent, and that's because it's nice and watery. So pretty much all we're going to do is we're going to use the same brush. Again, it does not need to be super clean, I just washed it off because I had time. And what I'm doing now is I'm really dipping it in the water, kind of soaking the bristles in the water, and then grabbing some paint. So I'm really trying to allow the water to mix with the paint on my plate, creating like a nice thin version of this color. So you can hopefully see maybe a pool of water there, just kind of grabbing the paint, no big blobs, it's just a nice watery, thin version. And you might want to be a little careful because this might get a little drippy, right, because it is so thin. But I'm just kind of going up and down. I'm gonna tap if I think it's gonna drip here. But yeah, very quickly up and down, so I won't get as many like nice points. But I'm still trying to get some, yeah, some little bumps and little lumps in here. Oh, my orange is still wet. Oh yeah, because I kept applying it, right? That's okay, I can just kind of rest it on top. Hey Lumpy, welcome in! I'm gonna catch up on chat in a second. I see a few things I'm missing there. But yeah, just trying to mimic roughly what you see on top here. So, you know, small for the small and large for the large. Yeah, otherwise you don't need to be exact, of course. It's just a reflection, so it's always going to be a wee bit different. Sharon, I use my hairdryer more for painting than my hair, so it stays in my craft room. That's probably a reality for a lot of artists, honestly. I have super thick hair, so I do use it more for my actual hair. If I didn't have a hairdryer, I feel like my hair would be wet like 50% of my life. How's the chicken? Chicken Noodle's always good. He's somewhere behind me. I don't think you can see him right now. Let's see. Oh, no, he's probably blocked. He's on the top of those pillows. You can't see. Wow, why is that? Because of this? Yeah, my monitor's blocking, but Chicken Noodle's there, I promise. He's just chilling out on the top of the pillows right now. And again, Lumpy, welcome in. Ooh, what a week. I'm relaxed now. Good! Busy work week or something else in your life? What color? That was the same color we were just using, so that's the red-black mixture. The only difference, Charlene and everyone else, is I'm just adding lots of water to it, so I'm kind of dipping in the water, moving around into the color, and allowing kind of a liquidy color onto the canvas. Now, I'm not having any dripping problems because my orange is so dang wet. It's kind of like resting on top of the orange and borderline mixing. So you might find more drips on yours, and if you do, it's not wrong. It's probably more right than mine. Mine is just very wet from the previous touch-ups I was doing. I'm shocked, honestly. I thought it was nice and dry over there. But it works. So yeah, you might want to have a paper towel in hand just to like watch if you need to, if there's any drips going on, but otherwise you might be lucky like me. Thanks, Crow. Can't believe it's already 9 p.m. I know! Me too, though. Toots are a weird thing, Lori. I feel like they go super duper quick. I wouldn't have guessed it's an hour in either. I would have guessed half an hour to 40 minutes. Easy. As usual, I was thinking like, I'm ahead of the game in terms of 2 hours. I'm about on time, I would say. Famous last words. I'm sure I will end after 10 now. Very good. Yeah, you know me. Work, work, work. Emotions aren't high. Clients fumbled their own project and we're fixing it. Oh no! Yeah, that's never fun. Well, you'll come out the heroes. It'll be worth, I'm sure. Well, hopefully you can relax now. It sounds like you're good. Pooey, what a work week. No more thinking about that. It's just the weekend. So yeah, it appears darker on the right, and I think that's because there's less mixing. So if you need it lighter, or you want it more transparent, you could just add more water to your brush and kind of rub on top, or you could take a paper towel and maybe tap a little bit off. That works though. There goes my drippies. Stop it. Stop it. We don't mind a little drippy because it is a reflection, but not too many. Yes, thank you, Crow. Fix 2 problematic reactions in 2 weeks. Oh, good. Yeah, it always feels good. I know it's always stressful in the moment, Lumpy, but it's like when you're able to fix it and make a client happy, it's like the best. Everyone is doing amazing. Can't wait to see people. Jen, you're always such a good cheerleader during these. Jen's here to cheer you on if you're painting. And Jen brings up a good point. If you want to share what you made after this, you can always do that. I always give a little speech at the end about where you can do that. But yeah, any social media, on pretty much everything is Erin Bun Paints. You can tag me or even hashtag Erin Bun Paints. Sometimes I check those. We have a lovely Discord community. You can post there. So that's truly the best part, is kind of seeing what everyone created at the end. They're always a little different. Everyone has their own little twists and own little styles to the painting, so it's fun to see. If you are so kind or so willing to share what you made. Sometimes it's a little scary at the start, but I find the more you share, the easier it gets. But no, it's Whiskey and Ginger Ale at the town of Minecraft. Ah, now it is. Tomorrow I'm hosting my sister for— oh, that's so nice for high tea. Man, I would love to go to that. I think I've referenced this before. There's a lovely, like, tea shop where I live in the city. And with COVID, I haven't gone. I used to go there. I used to work with the owner a little bit. She's lovely. But I want to do a whole afternoon tea thing. Obviously, I'm a tea freak, and I just love the whole, like, little sandwiches and little desserts and treating yourself and dressing up nice. Anyway, that'll be fun, Lumpy. Not painting right now, but I still appreciate being told. See, when you watch this on YouTube, Pizza, right now, hi, Jen will tell you you're doing amazing. You'll say, I am, thank you. It's really magic. Artful Turkey, hey! Oh my gosh, good to see you again. You're popping by the stream. I love it. Hello. Again, usually later night for you. Are you in a different time zone? You must be, right, Artful Turkey? Or are you just a super night owl? If you don't want to reveal, that's fine, but just curious. Artful Turkey, lovely Canadian art stream, everybody. Not painting either, but I'm doing amazing. It's 6. Yeah, you're somewhere West Coast then. You're West Coast. Lucky duck. PST. Yup. BC, Vancouver. If it is, I'm jealous. But yeah, all West Coast is beautiful. West Side. West Coast, best coast. Because it's true, honestly. I say it and I don't live on the West Coast. I bought premium oolong, fancy chocolates, mini— oh, that's so perfect! Can I come? Yeah, I want to do that soon. I feel like they'd be open now with our restrictions lifting. I'll consider. Trader! I don't know. Ontario agrees. Probably, honestly. For those who've been West Coast, they're like, yeah, you're right, though. They're not gonna defend. I love Lunting. Yes, you may. Yeah, everyone's like, can I come now? Yeah, we're hanging on Ontario. Ooh, yes. Now all the Ontarians are waking up being like, wait, Erin, what? Sorry, my heart's in the West Coast. Yep. I lived in Vancouver for a quick stint in my life, and I've always wanted to go back. So, even though I've grown up here pretty much all my, like, 95% of my lifetime, I'm still like, West Coast. Anyway, super jealous. Alright, I'm gonna leave that for Probably a minute or two if you're still adding. I know I need mine to dry. This is a little concerning now that I know this is so dang wet, because I need mist on here eventually. Let's hope and pray for this area, please. I think next we can do the dock. We can start to work on this little dock, and then we'll do some nice canoe details, and then the mist will finish it off. True did the Pacific Coast Drive in California. It's beautiful. Still have to visit Vancouver. Yeah, I've done that too. Beautiful as well. Yeah, stayed in LA a little bit, toured around California, did like a whole loop underneath the United States as well. Not underneath, excuse me, just bottom states. Yeah. But yeah, Vancouver was best. Sorry. Sorry. Washington State was beautiful. Portland is cool. Where I live is beautiful. It is. I don't want to rag on Ontario too hard. I just know where my heart is and it's not here. Sorry. Nice time for video. Thank you. Why does everyone love this? I'm Deb from Napoleon Dynamite. The kids and I are going back to the start and try this painting. Oh, lovely, Curtis. Enjoy, enjoy. Hello to the kids. When you reach the spot, hello. Hope your painting's going well. Yeah, beautiful thing about Twitch, you can just restart it at any point, so even if you get here an hour late or 2 hours late, you can just restart. And I always keep this up on Twitch until it's uploaded to YouTube, so if anyone's just tuning in now, yeah, just know that you're welcome to come back to this page at any time, click the VOD, do the painting, and then otherwise it will be on YouTube eventually. I always try and get it up in a week or two, but that's tough sometimes. I could probably do it with this one, honestly. I'll do my best. You know how it is. Vote day on my dad's birthday Monday. Ah, okay. Spending the day voting. Yes, we have a federal election on Monday. I keep forgetting. That's very important though. I won't forget the day of, but I keep forgetting momentarily. Jug Meat was on Twitch the other day. That was kind of fun. NDP political party leader. He was playing Garlic Phone. We're aware of Garlic Phone on this channel. He played with a few big Canadian streamers, and it was very, very wholesome and fun. There was a drawing prompt. There was a drawing prompt for Trudeau loses the election, and he had to draw a crying Trudeau, and I thought it was really funny. It was all in good fun. It wasn't mean or anything. It was just really funny. He drew his swoopy hair and drew like tears in his eyes. The theme was literally Trudeau losing the election. That was great. Anyway, yeah, politics aside, it was just a fun, wholesome little time. Marion, stupid computer. Last thing I saw was step 1 yellow. Just keeps. Oh, I'm sorry. Hopefully we're back now. Yeah, it was a good time. He has his own Twitch channel. I don't know if he streamed there before. Actually, I think he has. He may have played Among Us at one point, but I didn't watch that one. Anyway, that VOD is up if you want to see it. I thought it was very funny. To be fair, this election is up in the... Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it was very smart. And I mean, he was there honestly just having a good time drawing, but also just saying, remember to vote, remember to vote, remember to vote. So, yeah. Oh, he did with AOC. Oh, that might be it. Right. Big crew for that one. Gotta sign off now. We'll finish. No worries, Jules. Have a good Friday evening. Thanks for joining in. Right, yeah, I didn't watch that one fully, but I remember that happening. There were a lot of big names in that one. Anyway, Garlic Phone, yeah, Gartic Phone, Garlic Phone, always a good time. Tears in the eyes. Anyway, okay, let's go on to the dock so we can let this area dry. Hopefully you're all done with that. There's not too many drippies. We're going to do the dock in a nice purple. Again, just because I like purple. If you want to do a different color, maybe more of a beige or a brown for like natural wood color, feel free. I'm doing kind of a lighter purple than this, and then I use a dark purple to do all the little boards. Godmama, hello, I'll be coming back. Bummed I missed the whole thing. No worries. Godmama, if you want, you can actually watch right now. Thank you for following, by the way. This way you'll be notified when I go online next. You can restart it now. If you're ready to paint, you have your whole setup, you can just like, what you can do is click my name, then you click videos, and you can click this video right now. It'll have like a little play button. You can zoom through, go to the start, go to the end, whatever you want. So just so you know, if you're ready to paint now, welcome to do it. Otherwise, yeah, come back anytime and watch the VOD. No worries at all. Yes, absolutely, Charlene. Yes. Oh, that's very thankful. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Glad he's doing, I assume, doing better. That's very good, Charlene. All right, let's mix this purple. So we learned how to mix purple already, but just in case you forgot, we've got red and blue. And again, if you like the purple I have, I use a little extra red over the blue, so a little extra scoop of red. And then to lighten it up, I'm adding white. So again, I'm using more of a light purple this time. It's not lavender, it's not the lightest purple ever, or lilac, it's maybe a little bit darker than that. Just want it lighter than this purple, right? So it stands out a little bit more. I think I want more red yet again, so I'm gonna add more red to my plate. Ugh. I like my red tone purples. I just find them a little brighter, a little prettier, but everyone has their favorite, so do what you want. Excuse me. Alright, so my dock, I chose to put it kind of on the right-hand side. You can see it's not right in the corner, it's kind of like just a little bit over. And in terms of the perception, no. Not orientation. The way you're looking at it, you know. You're looking like this and the dock's kind of over here. It's not going to be... the lines aren't going to come to a perfect, like, they're not going to be symmetrical. You're not going to have the same angle on either side. This side is going to be a little straighter and this side's going to be a little more angled. That's the way it's going to look if you're off into the middle here and the dock is off to the right. Hopefully that makes sense. My wording is so off right now. So yeah, this side, this edge is going to be a little straighter up and down. So let's start with that one. Maybe it comes almost halfway across. So maybe like here. So we want to make it mostly straight up and down, just a slight angle inwards. That was horribly explained. But that's okay. Hopefully we can get it visually. I just lighten my purple a little bit so we can see it a little bit better. But again, use whatever tone you like. And then I do a nice horizontal line for the end of the dock. I like it a little bit wider. And then the other edge is going to be more angled, so more of a deep, abrupt angle. It kind of comes more like that. So you can see how this one's a little straighter up and down, just slightly angled. This one's very angled. Parallel is the word you're looking for. Thank you. Yes, dock, not parallel. Thank you, thank you. Correct, yeah, we don't have the same, yeah, like this. Send me back to grade 4. Thank you so much. Oh man. What would I do without the Twitch chat? I don't know. For anyone who makes fun of me silently behind the screen, try streaming yourself and tell me how you feel. Tell me how the words come out perfectly out of your mouth every time. It's all in good fun though. Alright, whenever you've got that down, you can just fill it in with that same color. I'm constantly adjusting this color. I'm still trying to find the color I like. My intention is just to use the same color, but if you're seeing two different colors, it's just me changing my mind. It's not because I'm trying to be fancy. I'm truly trying to get the same color everywhere. It's more of like a pinky purple now almost. I'm trying to match it to my original is what I'm trying to do. Yeah, James, I have never said anything wrong while streaming. Congrats. I'm sure none of you have. I'm sure any of the streamers in chat, there's many of you, I'm sure you've never experienced this. I'm probably the only one. In real life, even just talking to people, I'm sure none of you have ever made a grammatical error or forgotten a word. And that's okay. I'm the only one, and I understand that. Oh no, absolutely, Godmama, I'm making fun of myself. I lose words all the time, right at the tip of my tongue. Yep. I've felt that before. I have Googled things while live, just so I can get a word without making making a little joke of myself in the meantime. But mostly I just let it out. I just say, guys, what's this thing where that happens and then this does this and what is that? Especially during tutorials, I lose my wording all the time and I'm just like, just slap this on and move it over here and do that thing. Yeah, there's no real professional artistic terms in here. It's a lot of just whatever comes to my mind. Yeah, no, I like poking fun at myself. God, Mama, you're good, you're good. I learned a lot of streaming good practices from Lulin TV. Oh yeah? Like including how to speak? Because maybe I should watch. I swear lots on mine, says Crow. Screw that, streaming would be awful for me. It's pretty fun. It's not for everybody, but if you've ever thought of trying it, I would say just try it. There's nothing to lose. You know, if you get tangled up in your words, it happens. Just know it happens to not everybody, apparently, just me. So just know it happens to me and we can live with that. But yeah, even if it's streaming with no camera or just, you know, whatever you like. If you've ever thought about it, I always say just try it. If it's not for you, it's not for you, because it isn't for everybody. Some people like just watching and just chatting, and that's cool too. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. I've just made, yeah, my little dock block here. I haven't done much more, so it's just the one color everywhere. I kind of smooth everything out as usual, trying to do some nice big strokes to make sure everything's nice and even. There's no bumps or lumps waiting around to be wet within 20 minutes. I just want it to be nice and dry within 10. Especially when dealing with computers. Yep. Yeah, I avoid swearing on stream, but yeah, technology is not my friend either, Crow. I don't like it. No, she's dyslexic, so she has to stop and start over sentences. Ah, I see. I find I just talk quickly, so I relate to just stopping and starting over. Look at me go. Yes. But, fixed schedule. Oh yeah, that's pretty key. Which I don't do right now, so I'm failing. Yeah. Streaming works for you, but it does help to have a fixed schedule for sure. I did have one at one time in my life. It's been so mixed up recently. I was talking about that last stream, that I want to get a more consistent fixed schedule that I can stick to, realistically. Because I know a lot of things are changing right now. I find myself having commitments on Fridays and Saturdays sometimes, and that's been really messing with my current base schedule. Right now I try and say in my schedule that I like to be on Friday nights and Saturday during the day. I won't be on Saturday tomorrow. I have plans. Friday nights have been tough to make recently. So anyway, I plan on fixing that as well, because I do know that's pretty important. And it's just nice to have a fixed schedule. You're not constantly thinking about it. Okay. Let's, I'll give another quick minute in case anyone's still working, and honestly because this is still incredibly wet for me, and I'm gonna do the canoe next. I am just hoping that this is gonna be dry soon. This is pretty dry up here, it's just down here is very scary right now, so maybe my mist will be a little higher up than yours. We'll see. Excuse me. Have a little sip of water. I don't know if you're writing out more tips, Lumpy, but you put 1, and I'm just anxiously waiting for 2. If that's all, though, that's fine. I'm curious what the other tips are, though. Even though I've done this for over a year, I'm always open to tips. Absolutely always. Streaming tips for all. I could have made this a bit wider. I'm looking at my original. It could have been a bit wider, but that's okay. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I'll just leave it. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna zoom in on our little canoe just so everyone can have a quick, good look at the canoe. Watch, I'll bring it into screen. Here they come. Rowing in. Oops, going backwards. They don't know how to row. Stop rowing that way. Stop it. Oh, backwards, forwards. Oh, oh. I wish I could flip it around, because that's usually what happens. Oh, you went the wrong way. Oh, 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 no, you're going the other. Oh. Okay, that's enough. No, I wanted it zoomed in. So sorry, guys. Now I'm just messing around. Okay. Please have a look at this. That's our canoe. Nice zoomed up version. There you go. How about a fan tip? Wait, what? Oh, like a fan? Am I missing something? I'm sorry. Come prepared! Like, I know other streamers who are plagued by diarrhea and other IRL just- Wait, what? Plagued by diarrhea? A brush stroke! I got you. A fan tip, I got you. Other IRL distractions like phone calls and dogs want to go out stream is often an empty chair, not very fun. You're very consistent. I see what you're saying, yeah. Try and like kind of lock yourself in. Plagued by diarrhea got me though, Lumpy. I was like, what? Your seeing gear and stream schedules prepared each time. Mineral iron, got you. Yeah, yeah. And that's something I need to work on too, is figuring out content beforehand. I constantly find myself 10 minutes beforehand, I'm like, what am I gonna paint? Cool, let's Google things. Quickly, look through this picture. Okay, maybe I found it. It's very stressful. Yay! We say hello back to Grandpa. Oh, thank you. Thanks, Lumpy. I was just ragging on myself for how I don't, but yeah, thanks. I feel like I'm not, yeah, I'm good at, when I'm streaming, I'm not distracted. Thankfully, I'm not plagued by diarrhea or whatever else you said. I don't own a dog, so that's good. Phone calls, forget it. My phone is silenced. But yeah, otherwise I feel like I could work on just figuring out content beforehand, knowing what's going on. Does not show. Thank you. I appreciate it. I shouldn't be so hard on myself, apparently. Alright, here's our cute canoe. Let's talk about this a little bit. So for the canoe, I chose, it's kind of, again, a deep red color. Even though we did red and black for here, you can see this is a little more red. So what I did is I added red with just a tiny bit of black in it, just to make it a little rustier. Yeah, I just liked it a little bit more with the tones rather than a bright red, but if you want like a classic bright red canoe or bright green canoe or whatever your canoe color is, feel free to add that. That's what I'm going to start with. The canoe is a pretty basic shape. It kind of has rounded edges, so it kind of rounds up and rounds up, comes to a little tip at the end, and then it kind of scoops down over and scoops back up. So yeah, very curvy, no real like points. You can see it comes to a point, but it's still a curved point. So yeah, just very smooth, rounded, straight. And then the bottom, you don't have to curve because it will be a little underwater, right? So you're just kind of doing a straight across line for the bottom as well, where the ripples and wake will be. So let's start with that fancy canoe, or not fancy canoe. I'm switching to a nice teeny tiny brush, as you can see, or nice detail brush. And like I said, I'm going to mix red with just a tiny bit of black. I just wanted to, again, make a slightly darker red. So again, lighter than this, but still not pure bright red. And honestly, I did this too because my red is pretty transparent. If I tried plain red, it probably wouldn't have worked. So just working with my paints. So I like to usually start with the top of the canoe, top kind of middle. So I just start with a nice straight across line. That's nice and easy, a nice horizontal line. You can see it just anywhere off to kind of the left area. I just wanted to balance with the dock and the canoe, so that's why I put it off to the top left, but put it wherever you want. Make it relatively long if you want 2 people in the canoe. Remember, you need lots of room for 2 people, so I'm mentioning that because I think when I was doing the canoe at the start, I made it very short and I kept lengthening it just to make sure, so if you want to catch that mistake quickly, just start with a very long line. Even a little longer than that, probably, just to be safe. These people can be spaced out, that's fine. Alright, then I'm going to curve the top, or not the top, sorry, the front and the back a little bit up. So a slight little curve going up, up, up. Curve going up, 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 or down, 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 however you look at it. And then this kind of comes down and curves in. Down, curve in. So it starts by going a little bit straight down, but then curves in at the very end there. Down and in. And then, as I mentioned before, the bottom can be straight across as well, even though a canoe has a little bit of a rounded bottom and then kind of straight across, I guess. I'm just doing straight across. Ooh! Because in theory, the canoe is sinking into the water a little bit because of the 2 people in it. So it's going to be relatively flat against the water. I had my canvas on the edge here and it pushed back and scared me. And of course, once the shape is done, you can just fill it in. So because my paint is transparent, I'm going to try and really cake on the paint a little bit more than usual. I'm just kind of adding a thick amount and lightly brushing it on. The harder you brush your brush, no, the more pressure you use on your brush, the more paint is going to kind of lift off and therefore more of the canvas is going to show through. So if you ever want more of an opaque look, try and use a little bit of pressure, so you're just kind of laying the paint on rather than like forcing it on and putting lots of pressure on. It's just very lightly kind of sweeping. Good reactions. A big attraction for a stream is how stream reacts. Oh, true. Half show on. It is. No, it's like entertainment. It's pretty much like TV. Yes. Got it. Oh, thank you. Yes. Well, yeah, it's a lot to think about, Lumpy, for sure. It's a lot to kind of be handling, and you're wanting to look at certain things on your stream and make sure everything's working correctly, plus having a natural conversation with natural, or as you said, like big reactions. It's a lot to deal with if you are doing it all on your own, which most people are. So I can see how that's a good tip. It may seem easy, but no, it is not. Alright, that's a pretty good canoe, I think. Pretty long. I probably made it a little long, but that's fine. I think it's better too long than too short, for sure. Alright, and then as usual, we want a little reflection for our canoe, so to do that I'm just dipping my small brush in some water, grabbing that same color, and I'm just going to sweep kind of left and right a little bit right below it. So just like our trees, it's creating a little transparent version of our color for the reflection. So it is the same color, it just appears lighter because there's more water in it. It's very thinned out. And you don't need to do the exact shape of the canoe, of course. I'm just kind of creating you can see the two tips, and otherwise just brushing left and right. Keeping it simple, don't overthink. Do you have a master list of preferred paints? I do, yes. If you do exclamation supplies in the chat, you'll get a whole list of what I use, Godmama. I keep it the same every time, from tutorial to tutorial, so that people can just invest in one set of supplies and follow along with anything you want. Thanks, Groki. If the bot is awake, there we go. The bot is awake. There they are. Yep, the exact brand of paint I use is there. I think I even wrote down the brushes. Yeah, and then the 16 by 20. Yeah, and if you have any questions, let me know. I can probably direct you to like where to get those exact things, but yeah, just use your own supplies too. If you have a similar brush or similar colors, of course, you can do what you like. Yeah, bot is just tired. Yes, yes. Yeah, there's a few. So if you want to figure out what all those mean, you can just try those in the chat and the bot will respond with something interesting, something useful. Tips YouTube Prime today. Alright, so that's the reflection. So I'll just leave another quick minute in case anyone's doing that. I think we should do... We'll do the people next, and then we'll do the little ripples in the wake there. It's Friday. It's been a long week for bot, I guess. Alright, Shay, sounds good. Gonna log off and get ready for moving it. Yes, enjoy Hereditary. Thank you! Touche out. I hope we see a Touche. Continue to see Touche references. That was too good. Hi, Touche. Have a great night, Shay. Yeah, enjoy Hereditary. Don't get too spooked. Attitude! Mm-hmm. Ready the same. Demonstrates that be well at your veggies. Oh, cute! Wear your seatbelts. Thanks, Lumpy. Those were fun tips. I'm sure she will! Don't yell at her! Yeah, at least she knows what's coming. She can be prepared. Oh, man. Good movie. Okay, as I said, we should do the people next. So, I know people are always a little intimidating. I said stop yelling! A little intimidating. I'll zoom in even more so we can see a nice close-up version. I'll let you see how they are indeed very stick figure-like. Because they're so small, I didn't put a lot of detail in them. I will lead you step by step through all these little things, but pretty much what I start with is I like to start with a little head, which is always just an oval or an egg. And then I kind of just do a little bit of a black area for a body. It just kind of carries down. There's not even really a neck. Everyone's just kind of hunched apparently. But yeah, just kind of a black blob underneath for a body. And then just a small few details for maybe arms. So I have an arm here. This is an attempt at kind of a bent knee or bent leg, as if someone is sitting down in the canoe, as they do. This guy has two arms and they're very V-shaped apparently. And then again, attempts at oars. So this one has the oar on the left-hand side, so we only see the handle. And then this one has the oar on the right-hand side. It's massive apparently, but that's fine. It all looks better when you zoom out. Yeah, and then the oar just kind of dips in the water. So we'll do all of that just one little step at a time. Ah, yes, you had to slide that one in there for us. I got the storyboard art. It's pretty sick. Bailey Sarian on YouTube always ends with "make good choices." That's a good one. That's a good overarching one, isn't it? I can't list all of them, but just make good choices. Alright, so I'm gonna do, yo, James, thanks! Yeehaw, that's 14 for you? Holy crap! Hype for James before we do this first step. Thank you. Or this next step. Wow, wow, wow. Holy moly. Thanks very much, James. It's always really nice to see when a prime is used. It makes me feel extra special. Someone chose their prime for me, so thanks so much. Okay, so I've got black paint on my brush. I'm doing the first person over here on the left. So I'm starting with just, again, kind of an egg or oval shape. You can see raised up, of course. I'm trying to leave some room for the body, so leaving a nice big gap. It's just a floating head right now. And I'll do a second one right here. And if you're worried about sizing, just go for it, you know, just, you can always start a little smaller than you think. And then you can always make it a little bit bigger, so just try a nice little small black dot, and then you can always make it bigger. What was that? Lumpy gifted! Hey, thank you! To seek ye wisdom. Thank you very much! Hype for Lumpy, and for seek ye wisdom. Not sure if I've seen them in the chat, but either way, I hope they enjoy the sub. Thank you very much, Lumpy. I don't know what's going on with this head. It's getting bigger and bigger. I'll stop right there. 2 little dots. They're not hunched, they're wearing life vests. There we are. Life vests it is. They're being safe. They're making good choices. Thank you. We need to be more creative with this stuff rather than me saying they're hunched, it's not working. It's no, no, no. It's on purpose. They're wearing life vests, of course. Didn't realize I wasn't sub. Well, you are now, so thank you. Been on Twitch much? Yeah. No, I get you. I've been kind of the same. Not as much in streams. I feel ya. Alright, I've got some floating heads, so let's give them their life vest bodies. So I'm just kind of starting a little thinner up top, so a little more pinched in, and then kind of jetting out to the right, out to the left for their bodies. And you just, of course, end it when it hits the canoe. You don't want to go any further down. What's going on? James gifted to Moni. Thank you, Moni. Hope you enjoy. Thanks very much for gifting, James. A random array of gifts. Thank you all. Hope we're all enjoying the gifted subs. We are all buns now together. Very good, very good. Alright, 2 little bodies. My keyboard has a stutter now. Oh, couple of months, I see you. Ah, thanks, Grok. I see you working there. Oh, I see. Oh, I see it now. I never see it. It's always so small on the top. Alright, we got their little bodies. Let's do some arms next. So I like to do the arms and then I'll put the oars in their arms. That way I know where the arms are and I can put an oar in there. Oh, who did that? I don't know why that didn't pop up. Lori, thank you. Oh, Canada. I didn't hear it. I hope you guys heard it. It makes sense for this painting. It's a nice cottage country painting. Thank you. I feel bad that I didn't do the stand up. Anyway, thank you very much, Lori. You know, like hype train emotes, you'd think Twitch would. Really? I love the current ones, Lumpy. All the little doggos. I think there's a lot of cute doggos, personally. Sometimes I don't like the hype train emotes, but these ones have been fun, I think. Alright, so I'm just adding 1 arm for the person on the left. I guess the other arm is kind of hidden. And then the person on the right has 2 arms, so I'm going to do 1 arm up and 1 arm kind of more like straight out or pointing down. Kind of like a V shape. They're coming out like that. This guy just has 1. Really should consult streamers or hype train or viewers. Yes, I'll show you some doggos. I'm not sure if I have all of them. I know I have all for certain levels. Where are you, doggies? Oh, look at these guys. Look at these guys here. I'll leave my favorite for last. Pets and dogs, I guess. There are cats, there's a parrot in there. But that screaming one at the end is my absolute favorite. It's very chaotic and loud. Ah! I was gonna say canoe on a lake. Canadian Much Fine did that to myself 1 month ago. Oh, that nice stand corrected. Yeah, I think they're cute. Depends what you're into, but I think some of these are super cute and just super usable too. Some of the old ones, sometimes I was like, when would I ever use this? But those are great. Yes, I agree. The dogs are so cute. Groke loves them too. Okay, on the back person here, the one on the left, I'm gonna do the bent knee. So it's just on the bottom of the body. I'm just going up and down. Very quick and easy. You don't want to make it too high up. This guy's kind of just leaning back and you maybe see his knee popping up. Yeah, like I use that screaming dog all the time. It's kind of like a hype pog type thing, like, oh! Shay uses that hype squawk a lot. I've seen the hype yum a lot, the little licking one. There's a lot of cute ones, I think. I don't like emotes that are actual photos. Oh, I see. I can understand that, yeah. Everyone's got their preference for emotes. I get that, though. Maybe some cartoon doggos would be cute. Yes, it very much has that energy, James. If you could put the two beside, that would be perfect. Yep, there's the hype scream. Oh yeah, only one you use. Got it. Okay, and then last step for these is to add some oars. So on the back body here, I just do an oar that's kind of tilting down to the left, as if it's kind of at the end of the stroke there, and behind the canoe as well, so we don't see the end of the oar or anything. And then this one on the right is more so a little more up and down. It tilts maybe a little to the right as it comes down. It always looks so massive. I think I need to fix the proportions. He's kind of like, ugh. He's trying to hang on. But of course we see kind of the end of the oar here, so we want to thicken up the bottom of it. And then of course I don't round out the bottom because I want it to appear like it's in the water. It's just kind of dipping into the water right below the canoe. So I've widened it out a little bit, kind of tilting out and down, but not completing the whole shape. Excuse me. How do I get the Schnauzer dog? Unfortunately, it's all very random. You get dogs by participating in Hype Train, so right now it's running, and if you donate or gift a sub, not donate, excuse me, gift a sub, use bits, things related on Twitch, I guess, then you get an emote once the Hype Train is done. So if you want in on that, you can do it now, unless you've already done something. Yeah, if you want in, you might want to do that now, but you can't choose, unfortunately, they just randomly give it to you. I think it's a good one, James. Thanks, Godmama. Yeah, so that's just if you want to kind of tip me extra for the free tutorials, then you're welcome to, but no obligation. It's just there in case you want to. Alright, so we've got the bodies down. Now the last part of the canoe is the nice little ripple or wake that's left behind. Very calm still, but we still want a little bit of disrupted water. So I'm just going to use a nice watery kind of white. So I'm just dipping my brush in the water and then swirling it a little bit in some white paint so it becomes very transparent. Thanks, everybody! Show me my emotes. Oh, I've collected them all, so I've already showed you all the emotes. Thanks, everybody, for the little hype train there. It was very appreciated. How do I get out of here? There we go. Choo-choo! See, everyone who participated got some emotes. Vonda was asking. They are all random. I think Twitch does an okay job at giving you emotes you don't already have, if I'm correct. So, there you go. Thanks, everybody. All right, and then for the, again, for the little ripples, wake, whatever you want to call it, I've just, again, made a watery white. So I've dipped my brush in the water, swirled in some white, and I just go right at the very bottom of the canoe, just very shakily. You don't need to make any straight lines. And on the left-hand side, you kind of make a little bit of a V shape as if the wake is kind of separating, right? So it starts kind of tight and then it starts to kind of veer off on either side. creating a nice little wake behind. So I'm just slowly dipping in to my watery white. I'm just trying to put it on in some straight, shaky lines. Straight and shaky. Contradicting statements. All good though.
I'll be back.
Oh, thank you, Godmama. Thanks so much. Gave a nice little tip there. Thank you. You'll be back. Good. I'm glad. Yeah. Thank you again for following. That means you'll be notified when I go online. Thanks for hanging out. If you're going now, thank you so much for hanging out. And thanks for the extra little tip. That's really, really kind. Thank you. There we go. So I don't want to overdo it. I think that's about good. As I add a little more. That's fine. That's fine. Don't touch. Cool. All right. And that's the little canoe. So I'm going to zoom back out again so we can get a good look at everything. We have one more thing to do before the mist. So we got 2 more things. April, thanks for following. Yeah, I know you've been in the chat, so thanks for following. Again, for those who don't follow me now who might be watching, it's free to do, obviously. You just click the little heart button, and it just allows you to be notified when I go online. So, again, I do these tutorials once every other week or once a week. I was kind of doing them once a week and then got a little busier, but trying to keep doing them consistently. But yeah, I stream multiple times throughout the week, just doing painting related stuff or bullet journaling, art related things. So yeah, if that interests you, feel free to follow. Right, so before we do the mist, thank goodness this is almost dry. We just want to clean up the dock a little bit. You can see there's still a few little details on the dock here. Very simple, straightforward. You can see it's a little messy, but I like it a little bit messy. I think it adds a little bit of character to the dock to have the slats a little bit kind of tilted. I actually purposely didn't do like a whole straight line here. I tried to do kind of individual little slats as if the boards were kind of crooked a bit. But yeah, the idea is we're just going to use a nice dark purple and do some horizontal lines. Again, we're gonna kind of do the ends of each board. You can jet some out a little bit more or bring some in. And then just small little dots as if there's little nail details. So yeah, not too much to do, but will make a big difference. Thanks, Lumpy. I'm glad. That is the goal. Just cozy and wholesome, safe, all those good things. Open. What else? Comfy's a good word. What'd you say? Cozy. Welcoming, cozy. I like both of those. So what I'm doing is I'm mixing a nice dark purple on my plate, so blue and red mixed together, and this time you don't need to mix any white in there because we do want it nice and dark. Use whatever brush you're comfortable with. I'm going to keep on the small brush, I think, but if you'd rather use like a really nice pointy brush or a flat brush to do some straight lines with, you do you. Whatever works best. Just as a tip though, if you want some nice thin lines as you see in the dock here, I would just wipe your brush off on the side of your plate or on your palette just to make sure there's not a whole blob of paint waiting for you, because of course the less paint you have, the more likely you'll be able to make a nice thin line. So I'll start with some horizontal lines. I think I need a little more paint. That's the one thing about a teeny tiny brush is you have to kind of reload it like every other stroke. It only holds a little bit of paint, so it'll give you a thinner line, but it takes a little bit more time. So I'm actually going to add another one in there. So the lines at the start, they're going to be a little closer together because the dock is further away at the top, and as it gets closer, I'm going to move the lines a little further apart, as if the boards get a little bit wider. And just generally, again, it's not a hard rule just because, again, I'm going for more of a rustic dock. I think I saw my battery died. Lovely. Give me a quick second. You can just keep going with the horizontal lines. I'll catch up in a second. But yeah, start them again a little closer together and just widen them out a little bit as they go down. It doesn't need to be significant, just a little bit of detail that way is good. And that emote is the best emote. You can thank Mystic Dough for that one whenever you see your next lovely, lovely little chicken noodle. So yeah, if some of these lines aren't perfectly horizontal, absolutely fine. I keep saying it, I think it just adds to the character of the dock. I don't usually see perfect new docks in cottage country. They're always kind of well loved. Things are a little bit splitting apart. Some boards are maybe sticking up. Gives a nice cottagey, rustic feel. So you can see how generally I've lined out the lines just minimally. Nothing crazy, nothing exact. Once I've got those on, shuffles horizontally. I'm doing life wrong, I think. You're doing fine. Whether it's horizontal or vertical, you're good. Life horizontally. Okay. Now what I'm doing is the edges here. So rather than doing one solid line, I'm just kind of, again, trying to make all of these boards kind of end or start at different lengths. So maybe I'll bring, you know, this edge out a little bit. So I'll go out, down, back over. Maybe I'll keep this one very level. But yeah, again, I just keep saying it. I like the rustic look. The used dock, well-loved dock. There we go. And same on the other side. But yeah, nothing wrong with doing just a easy straight line just to get that all done very quickly. That will look fine too. Your dock will just look a lot cleaner and newer. You've got a nice brand new dock if you do that. Oops. There we go. Extended family was 5 Scott. Oh wow! Oh, that's so cool, Lumpy. That's kind of a dream having like the whole family all next to one another. Partially detachable. Oh, that's so neat. Wow. Super jealous. I bet your whole lake is like envious. The massive 5 cottage parties you must have. Very cool. That's smart. Making just one big floating dock, one big massive deck. Okay, and then the other detail you can add if you wish is just some little nails on each end. So I try and fit 2 on each end, but I don't force it. If I can only fit 1, then I only fit 1. But trying to do just 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, just like they're all nailed in here. There we go. Just those couple little details I think really cleans up the dock rather than having that one color just as a big platform. That makes it look a little more dock-like now. I will zoom out. We can have a quick look at the whole painting. We got one more thing to go unless I'm missing something, but I don't think I am. Last thing is just the mist, so I'll give a quick minute or two if anyone's still on the dock and we can finish off with the mist together. It's only 30 people out of 70 for the family around that lake. Others have cottages. Oh, wow. No, that's a huge family, Lumpy. 30 is about the max of like one side of my family. I would need both sides to get together to get any higher than that. Alright, so I'm just prepping my plate here. My mist, it may look white, but it's actually kind of the cream color. I mixed a tiny bit of yellow in there just because I didn't want a stark white. I wanted it just a little bit toned down, so I'm just dumping some clean white on here only to add a tiny bit of yellow in there. Whoops. Okay, so again, if you missed that, if you're finishing up the dock now, I'm just mixing my last color here. Last color is a nice pale, you can either call it pale yellow or beige, anything like that, but it's just white with a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of yellow in there. I don't want it like a light yellow necessarily, it's just almost like an off-white. Just didn't want it stark white, bright white, just something a little less than that. So tiny bit of yellow mixed into white. And the way to do the mist is dry brushing. We've done lots of dry brushing before, but of course I'll reteach it for those who are new or haven't done it before. The idea behind dry brushing is that we want to use just a little bit of paint, and we kind of like scrape the paint off the brush. That's how I describe it. You're using a tiny bit of paint and you're like kind of rubbing it around. I swirl it around, I go in nice little circles like this. It'll make a very rough kind of scratchy sound, and I know it's not the most pleasant, but it means you're doing it right if it's kind of scratching going everywhere. So I'm trying to grab a little bit of paint on my brush, and then I'm also kind of tapping or wiping it off on my towel just to really ensure there's no big blobs, because we want just a small amount of paint so it looks nice and transparent. I'll zoom in on the mist here so you can really see. So you can see the mist is a little bit thicker at the bottom. So to be safe, I'll start kind of at the bottom of my tree line. That's where the most paint is going to come off, is right at the start there. And then as the paint gets removed from my brush, I'm going to start swirling upwards because there's less paint to come off, and then that way you can see it becomes a little more transparent. So again, you can see I'm rubbing it on here, swirling, swirling, swirling. And a little can go a long way. So if you reach a point where you have a good like transparent look, you can just keep going across like this. Maybe press a little harder as you go because you have less paint on your brush, so you can adjust your pressure. But start very soft, see how it is, and then press a little harder. And maybe you can see my bristles really rubbing in there. And then it comes nice and soft. Very, very soft. So really what I do is I try and concentrate, as you can see, on the very soft kind of top part first, because it's always easier to add more paint on the bottom, right? So I really try and make sure there's just a very transparent top, as if the mist is just kind of fading away. And then I can always go back and add more paint at the bottom. It's fun, we've been there for 60 years. Oh wow, so it stayed in the family for a while. My aunts are heading community management. Oh wow. Really, Lumpy, that's a huge step. No gasoline boats, holy moly. Scientists found out the spot made her life. That's so neat. Oh, you're fine, Lumpy, you're fine. That's all very interesting. Yeah, it does, honestly, Lumpy. Lumpy said, does that technique wear out the brush? Yeah, it makes me a little sad, as you can see. Hold on, I'll show you again when I press a little harder. The bristles are really, like, really all over the place. It's not very kind to the brush. I feel like I can still do it without totally wrecking the brush, of course. You can see I kind of hold it to the side. If I were to go straight on, that would really be like, the bristles are just, you know, that's not great. You can maybe tap, that would maybe save it a bit better rather than really harshly swirling, but otherwise I try and go a little more level with the canvas, and then it's almost on the side, and I feel like that doesn't hurt the bristles as much. Ow, ow, ow. Yeah, they're not hurting as much, I feel. But yeah, I would imagine it just kind of upsets the bristles a bit. But yeah, for this technique, if you have an older brush, I'm sure that would prevent that, or even like I wonder if a toothbrush would work for this. I know people use toothbrushes for other techniques. I don't know about swirling and dry brushing though. But just an idea in case you don't want to wreck a nice new brush. I wouldn't recommend using your best brush for this for sure. It should be kind of an older brush. Even a stiffer brush would be nice, because that way the bristles are a little more scratchy and yeah, won't flare out as much. But yeah, I just try and be a little more gentle, and also just I don't use my favorite brush with it. What, scratchy and harsh? Not babied. How do you know? You haven't talked to my brushes? Yeah, jeez. It's okay, it's okay. He's not here anymore. It's only me. Shh. So again, I'll say again, best idea is to work from the bottom up. That way you're getting rid of paint, and then when you're comfortable, you can raise it up. And again, it naturally just kind of helps with the look of having it more thicker, just thicker on the bottom, and then a little more light on top. Yeah, and layer it too. I mean, if you start off and it looks way too soft, just do another quick layer on top, see how that looks. It might even just add to do layers, because then it looks, of course, a little more three-dimensional. I'm gonna zoom out now just so you can see the whole painting. So you can see I still have a fair amount to go because in my original I really liked the idea of making it super, super thick on the bottom. That'll come together though after I get all this soft stuff on. And as usual, of course, try not to do like a straight line. You can see I'm trying to go like further up, closer down, just bumping along however I feel. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but... Oh yeah, Grace says like a deerfoot brush, so that's a very dense, I think short bristled brush, correct me if I'm wrong, but more so it has like the flat top, so rather than a tip where you're forcing all the brushes to kind of go apart, it already has a nice flat top, so it's already just kind of naturally ready for that, and Gray loves to use that for the nice dry brushing in mist areas. Good tip. I do not have one of those, but maybe some of you do or want to look into it. Alright, so you can see lots of swirlies. I'm going to start to add a little more paint to my brush now, so maybe just lightly dipping into my pile but not brushing it off, you know? So as you get more comfortable, you can add maybe a little more paint to your brush and just make sure you use less pressure on it. At the bottom, you can of course stroke a little back and forth as well. Oh, that got some red in there. I gotta remix a color. Name suggestion for painting: Sunset Canoe, Peaceful Travels, Paddling at Dusk, Into the Mist, By the Lakeside. All good answers. We were discussing, Lori, the idea that like I kind of wanted this to be morning, but it looks like sunset, so trying to play off that as well. But I like those. I've talked to them when I was there, hence how I painted whilst I was behind you on stream. You were chatting with your brushes? Someone pull up that pod. Short bristles and stiff. There you go. Great, confirmed. Thank you. As I said too, tapping is a suggestion as well, especially at the thicker areas, kind of at the base. I think tapping's a little bit of a better idea. You can see more paint comes off and it gets brighter. And then I kind of tap a little higher up just to make sure it kind of naturally fades in. It's not going to be just a harsh line on the bottom. Tap, 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 tap. I had a lot of paint on there, so I quickly tried to spread it out, and then I'll try and tap it up a little bit. If you ever add too much paint though, just keep wiping off your brush. Grab a little paint from the canvas and wipe off your brush. Keep doing that until you have the appropriate amount. And the reason I'm brushing back and forth is because the last, I guess very last step is I will be doing some little kind of water lines, ripples in the water, so I'm kind of evening out this bottom part here in preparation for that. So you can sweep across, it doesn't need to be swirly at the bottom. I kind of like the straighter edge at the bottom personally, as if the mist is all maybe at the shoreline almost. And then we'll use this color for water lines and ripples. Oh, I'm tilting again. You can see I'm tilting upwards. Let's bring that down a little more. When I add the ripples, that'll be less obvious as well. There we go. Alright, that's pretty good. I could probably add more, honestly, to match my original better, but just for the sake of time, I'll just show you the last little step here in case anyone needs to go, because we're right at 10:02. I'm not too late this time. Yeah, last mini step is just adding some very quick, light horizontal lines kind of separated underneath. You can maybe water down your paint a bit if you really want it, again, nice and transparent, nice and thin. A nice watery paint will allow for thinner lines. Just very lightly I'm sweeping left and right, trying to do some thin lines, kind of all right at the shoreline here, as if the water is a little bit more disrupted as it's getting closer to the shoreline. But yeah, it helps kind of show the viewer, of course, the water. The only thing to really signify that right now is the canoe. So I want to give a few little water lines and ripples to really make that clear. And it helps cover up, of course, the reflection of the trees, which is nice. Not that we want to cover it, but again, just we want to make it look like it's in the water, you know? That's probably good. I don't like to overdo it. I like to just very minimally do the water lines. You could do more if you want it to be a little more of a disrupted body of water come all the way down just lightly, but I like the idea of keeping it at the shoreline. As I add more mist, rather. That's fine. Okay. So, yeah, the key is you could always go all day. There should be a time where you kind of say, I think that's good. Maybe I'll leave it alone for a little bit, even if it's 5 or 10 minutes. Go, like, grab a drink of water or something, come back, look at it, decide if you want more. Lean back and have a look at the whole thing, take a photo of it, because that allows you to see a very small version. You can easily point out things. Yeah, all suggestions, but otherwise feel free to keep painting as much as you like. Add to it if you want to, change something up. But for this one, I'm going to finish off by signing it. So whenever you're done as well, I recommend you give it a little signature. It always helps really finalize the whole painting. Beautiful, thank you! Revised. Name suggestion. Sunrise Canoe. Peaceful travels by paddling at dawn. Into the mist. I like Into the Mist as well. I like incorporating the mist because everyone seems to be a very big fan of the mist for this one. Thanks, Crow, and Wilbur the dinosaur. Welcome in. Guys, we have a dinosaur in chat. This is unheard of. Welcome in. We're actually just wrapping up, Wilbur, a step-by-step tutorial. I'm online for a little bit, of course, to chat with everybody, but this was a, yeah, step-by-step acrylic painting tutorial. Alright, I just put my little bun in the bottom. If you can see it, it's very hard to see because it's purple on purple, but that's it. I have signed my painting, so that finalizes it for me. So again, I will showcase. They're always a little different. You can see this one's maybe a little lighter, a little brighter. I think this one kind of came out more with the orange tones and the red tones. A lot more fiery in this one, which I enjoy. But both are good. So again, if yours looks different than mine, I'm with you. That's what happens. They're always a little different. Mist is thicker here. It's kind of nice, a little thinner over here. So yeah, maybe you see differences in yours and that's totally fine. Doesn't mean it's wrong or anything. So. And don't forget the edges. I did the edges on my original. I will not do them on here. Thank you, Gray. But good reminder for everybody. Do your edges. If you haven't done your edges, maybe you did them halfway and forgot, as I do too. Check your edges and clean those up. It's always easier to do it as you're painting because you have the colors to match, right? So, yes. I like this new command. It's very good as a reminder. Thankfully, I remembered in my original, though. Alright. So here's the time where I do my quick little spiel. I just want to thank everybody as usual for coming out tonight. If you're watching on YouTube, again, I'm thanking you for watching on YouTube, but also thanking everyone on Twitch live right now. I keep saying all the time, but watching me live on Twitch really helps me, I guess, the most kind of grow as a streamer and a content creator, whatever other term you want to call me. Truly it does, because it allows more people to see me on Twitch. I get recommended more if more people are watching, so even just you turning me on today was a huge help, so thank you very much. And for those who painted along, thanks for painting along. Again, if you'd like to share any photos today of what you painted, I'm just going back to our Facebook event page so I can unlock that for posting, because that's always my first suggestion, is going to Facebook. I'm going to do exclamation photos for a bunch of links for everybody. Facebook is always my first suggestion. Discord is probably second. We have lots of art sharing channels, painting channels, digital art channel, all of that. So if you have something you want to share art-wise, even if it was something different tonight that you did, feel free to hop on over there and share with us. Instagram's a good place to share as well. Lots of links in there you can check out. Event settings. Everyone can post. Very good. Very good. Update. Great. So the Facebook event page is now open to post. I'm going to post that directly in the chat if you want the exact event page. And that'll lead you, of course, to my Facebook page as well. Next tutorial. I showed this off earlier, but in case there's anyone new in the stream right now who wasn't here earlier, we've got this lovely bird coming up. That's in 2 weeks, so it's going to be the same time, same day of the week, Friday at 8 p.m. EST, just 2 weeks from now. So I think that's October 1st. I think it's the first day of October. So it's a little out of season, but I don't care because they're really pretty birds. So that's what we're going to do. It's a painted bunting. Ooh, ah, wee. So that'll be on Friday, next Friday. 2 weeks from now. Not next Friday. I won't be online next Friday. If anyone is wanting to contribute more to me, even just from watching me, if you want to tip me or anything like that, you can do exclamation tips in the chat. That helps me obviously financially while I do these tutorials for free. I've done over 75 at this point. I'm happy to continue doing them. I'm happy to keep spreading the joy of art, if you will. and it's always appreciated for those who want to support me further with that. So thank you for those who do. And yeah, other than even just like straight up tipping, subscribing to my Twitch channel is a way to do that too, is a way to support me rather. You can do that for, I think it's like $5 or $6 depending on where you are in the world. Or you can do it for free if you have Amazon Prime. If you do ! Prime, you can learn how to do that. If you have Amazon Prime already, subscribing is free. You get 1 free subscription per month if you choose to use that on me. You just click the subscribe button and you scroll down to subscribe free. And that's it. It helps me out, gives me money, takes money directly from Jeff Bezos. So it's a win-win, truly. So feel free to do that if you want to support me further. Otherwise, all is good. What else? YouTube, I guess. Yeah, this will be up on YouTube hopefully in the next week or two, so look forward to that if you're looking to recreate this. In the meantime, there's lots of other tutorials on YouTube you can check out if you haven't done so already. And I think that's all. I don't know if there's anything else for me to say, so if you gotta pop off now that you're all done painting, thanks very much for coming, and I'll see you in the next one. Otherwise, I'm here to chat for a little bit, so thank you.